Welcome to the Fit 15 podcast show, where you'll find health and fitness inspiration, motivation, and information shared in 15-minute episodes. Tune in while getting a move on to make leading and enjoying the benefits of a healthy lifestyle almost too easy. It's the Fit 15. And now your host, Catherine Basu.
Welcome to the Fit 15 podcast show. I'm your host, Catherine Basu, and I'm so excited to introduce you to my guest today, Marcus Rain. Before I share more about Marcus, I just want to share that I met him when I was out in New Orleans back in August of 2018, and I'm actually going to be back there again the end of this month, February 2019, and I'd love to organize an informal running meetup if you're interested. So if you live in New Orleans or be interested in coming out to New Orleans to run with us at the end of the month, shoot me an email, podcast@fitarmadillo.com, and I will try to organize something. All right, so as I said, my guest today is Marcus Rain. Here is a little clip from my time hanging out with Marcus in New Orleans in August.
So this is French Quarter.
Okay.
The original city of New Orleans. We were founded in 1718 by Jean-Baptiste de Montbienville. We founded New Orleans in 1718 before France. So this is your original city. So this will be our first photo op right here.
Okay.
Brad Pitt, Angelina Jolie. They lived there for 10 years.
Oh, wow.
And they moved out about 2 years ago.
Okay.
You know, like when they announced the divorce and all that stuff?
Okay.
I saw them moving out before they announced the divorce.
Funny.
So I had the heads up. I didn't know there was a divorce. I was like, oh, they're moving out.
So no, I did not meet Marcus out partying in New Orleans, but on a run. Marcus Rain is a New Orleans native who can trace his family back to the 1780s in New Orleans. He's a 2008 graduate of the University of New Orleans, majoring in business administration. He has been tour guiding for a total of 8 years and running his own business for 6 years. He's been married for 10 years and has 2 girls, 1 boy, 2 dogs, and some fish. Marcus is the brains behind New Orleans Jogging Tours, which is what that sound clip is from. So in today's episode, I'm going to share more about the tours, and Marcus is going to share his fitness journey with us as a dad and things he's gone through throughout his career, going through different parts of his fitness journey. I think you'll enjoy it and getting some insights from him. Without further ado, here is my conversation with Marcus. Welcome to the podcast, Marcus. I'm so excited to have you as my guest today.
I am glad to be here, Catherine. Thanks for contacting me.
Yeah, well, I got to enjoy, I know a lot of people go to New Orleans for other reasons, but I got to go and enjoy a jog with you and a tour of the city. So really love that and would love to have the listeners maybe check it out sometime. But could you share with us, kind of what the progression has been, how you started the running tours there and all that good stuff?
Okay, I'll try to sum this up. So it's been been doing it for 6 years now with the running tour, and I've been doing tours for 8 years, and the first 2 years I used to drive a 30-passenger tour bus. But then as I drove the bus, I started looking like the bus. So that was the goal, to get out. And, I love doing tours, but I just couldn't sit down all day.
Yeah.
And so I started thinking of, a different company I could come up with. And the city had a lot of bike tours. They had about maybe 10 different bike tour companies. And of course, 100 different walking tours, but they didn't have any running tours. So I did some research. I couldn't find anything. I saw one thing that somebody had did in the past, but it was like a running group from hotels. It wasn't a real tour.
Sure.
And so I said, you know what? I'm going to go start a running tour. Now, mind you this, I never ran before at all. As far as, this distance, like a race and whatnot. Now, I played sports. In high school, played baseball, football. Now, in college, I've been playing rugby for, I guess, maybe 14 years now. I've been playing rugby since I went to college at 17, 17, making 18. And that's when I first saw my rugby game. So I was athletic, to a point, but I never ran. So my whole idea was developing a route. I said, okay, let me come up with a route. And so it was August, like 6 years ago in August, I started running around the city. And I was like, what am I doing? It was just hot, crazy. I was just, I was almost dying. And so, but I knew it would make me a better person, just I could still work, make money, and at the same time get some exercise,
Yeah.
So that was the idea behind it. So once I got the business started, I got brochures, all the business stuff related, marketing, what have you. And I started doing tours. And like my first tour I guess when I first started, I might have been at like 260 pounds. And, the lady would be running with me, and which I was doing it. I was keeping up with him. She was like, you okay, big guy? I'm like, yeah, I'm all right. I just started,
Yeah.
But like that first month, I'd be, I'm running in August when I started, and I'm seeing white spots, breathing hard, and, all this different type of stuff. And my lower back was killing me. And I'm like, man, what kind of, who does this? It's like, who does this, And I guess maybe about, that's about that second month, the back pain left. I had dropped about maybe, 10 pounds in that first month. And then like about 4 months in, about 7 months in, I dropped about 40 pounds in 7 months just doing that.
Wow, yeah.
And I was kind of beating myself up too because it was a business, Every call I got, I did. And when I first started, right now I offer a 6 a.m. and a 9 a.m. tour. When I first started, it was a 12:30 p.m. So I said the middle of the day, the hottest time, and a 9 a.m.
Okay, yep.
And I'm a guy, I was a guy, I had one kid at the time, I had to make ends meet. So I just, my wife was pressuring me, go make some money, So I was doing sometimes 2 tours a day, and it's just real, hot as cuff, you're sweating. But like I said, 40 pounds left me in 7 months, and, I was feeling great. But at the same time, I noticed, as far as the running goes, I had to get some different running shoes.
Hi friends, it's Catherine, and that sound is your halfway point reminder. If you're joining us for an out and back walk and only have 15 minutes of time, you'll want to turn around now. All right, back to my conversation with Marcus. Oh, sure.
I couldn't get my cheap running shoes that I had. Couldn't do it. I had to get some Mizunos, and they put me in this. I went to a specialty running store, and they made me run on a treadmill and look at my gait and all that. So I spent like $140 on my first pair of real running shoes. And I mean, every pair after that, like, after I spent the $140, they lasted about a year. I said, let me get some $30 running shoes. That didn't work out. My feet were killing me. But as long as I had the shoes, my feet were okay. So, like I said, about a year in, I'm good. No pain, no nothing. The runs are easy. Sometimes I do a tour, and like I had this one guy say, you think we could do a little less talking, more running? And when he said it, I felt kind of slightly offended. I was like, okay, no problem. So I just ran my butt off. I pushed myself. Yep. He didn't know that I was pushing myself. I didn't say nothing, and I basically sprinted during the tour to the point where he was kind of behind me. And so when we finished the tour, I hadn't really said any history at all, but he was happy. He was like, thanks, man. I appreciate it. But that's what he wanted, and that's how it happened. And also around by that year mark, I had got like a convention of like 100 people. And, that was a big wad of money I was able to make because I charged them like $15 a head. So, it was like a running group and 4 walking groups is what we did. And so I was able to pocket like $1,200 that day and stuff like that. So, it's been fun. It's been going good. But the transition happened with the running is when I guess when my wife and I decided to have more kids, my running things changed a little bit. So basically, I guess it was about 3 years ago, my wife found out we were pregnant with the second child, right? And so before that, let me see. Okay, right before we found out it was October, my mom got me a Vitamix for my birthday. She got me a Vitamix because she's on this health thing herself.
Yep.
But you probably put her on a podcast because she's kind of crazy on a health fitness thing.
Oh, yeah.
She's been seeing people, her brother got diabetes, so she just,
sure.
took it extreme. She's real healthy now. So she got me a Vitamix. I'm making all these smoothies. I'm making juices. I'm making soups. And I guess it was like a month later is when we found out we were pregnant. And my wife's got all these cravings. And I started making shakes, ice cream, and put it all in the same Vitamix. So that Vitamix, which was a blessing, it became a curse,
Right.
And so, to make a long story short, when we found out she was pregnant, I still was doing my tours. I wasn't doing 2 a day anymore because I learned how to schedule better. So I try to do it like, 4 days a week and just kind of do it like that. That's how I try to do it, 4 days a week. And so, but my eating just went up. So I put on like 10 pounds, no big deal. My wife had the baby. The day my wife had the baby, a guy, he kind of contacted me that same week. He wanted to do running tours. So for the past 2 years, I've been having a guy do most of my runs for me, mostly at 6 a.m. And I usually come out, if it's a special request, I'll come out, or private conferences, I come out. So myself at the moment, I might do like maybe, 3 a month myself.
Yep.
But my guy, he does, try to do about 4 a week for me. So the business is still rolling. But in the 3 years since we found out my wife was pregnant, so we found out she was pregnant. 9 months later, she had the baby. Then a year later, we had another baby. So the kids are like 16 months apart. So anyway, in these past, I guess, 3 years, I put on about 40 pounds. So, yeah.
The busy life of a parent, yeah.
And the main reason I put all that weight back on is because my sleep left me, with the kids. My wife's a school teacher. And so she would get up early, and I stopped doing the 6 a.m. tour because I would only have like 2 hours. I might have 4 hours of sleep, but it'll be broken.
Right.
And it wasn't so bad with the first one because she was, breastfeeding and all that. So she had to do most of the feeding. She'll breastfeed, but she'll pump.
Yep.
So if she pumped, that means I had to get up and feed the baby. The sleep wasn't right. And then once she finally started sleeping a little bit, my son came, and it was a cycle all over again. So if my son slept through the night, my daughter would wake up, and so anyway, I couldn't get up early and do the running tours.
Yeah.
So I put on 40 pounds, in a 3 year span. And so right now I sit at about, in the morning, I might be like 280 in the morning. So I started this at 260. I dropped to 240. Matter of fact, I had lost those 40 pounds when I first started. So 260 to 220, and I stabilized at 240. Because if we talk about fitness, I'll say this. When I first started, I dropped 40 pounds of muscle and fat.
Sure.
But once I stabilized, I guess I put the muscle back on that I lost, because I had all that running, I had lost muscle mass too.
Sure.
So another reason why I had gained so much weight with the kids and no sleep, and I also couldn't go to the gym.
Right.
I also cut out playing basketball. I cut out, I would play like football on the side of the house with these teenagers. So I lost like 4 modes of exercise that I lost, So the running tour, it was a job, it was work, but that didn't even count necessarily for my exercise for the day. All that playing that I did, the basketball, the gym, and the playing with the kids, that just playing around, that kept my weight down. But all those 4 modes of exercise, they all left when the kids came. Which, it's a blessing, but it just is what it is. I'm just keeping it real.
Yep.
So, that's basically the ballpark of, what's been going on. But on a side note, I went to the doctor because I gained a little bit of weight. And but I could still do the tours. You know, I did a tour with you. You know, even though I got so big, I could still do the tours. It's no big deal. I'm just a little bigger. My mom was like, "Oh, that's too much weight on your joints and this and that. You're talking about your stomach getting big. You know, that's how you get diabetes and this and that." So I went to the doctor. They did all my blood work, and everything was off the charts in a good way.
Okay.
I was like, how much? Y'all that worrying? You know, because technically I'm obese. You know, according to
for the weight and height,
whatever, you know, which, you know, I got some muscle on me too. So, but technically I'm obese, but all my blood work was good. I think my pulse was like, it might have been 55, but before that, my pulse was like 49.
Sure.
And when my pulse was 49, the doctor was like, 'cause I still, even when I was at, you know, 240, I still technically obese at 240. The doctor was like, "Do you do anything?" It's like, "I do a little bit of running." He's like, "Oh, because your pulse rate is so low, that's a good thing," but I just didn't know.
Right.
I wanted to make sure it was low for a good reason. I was like, "Yeah, man, I do a little exercising, even though I'm, you know, a little big or whatever." But like I said, the good thing is now, where I am now, my sleep is coming back. So I'm able to start at this moment, like this week, do a little bit more tours.
Oh, nice.
Get a little bit back in the gym, this and that, you know. So it is a journey. And also I forgot to say this, but when I first started and I was doing 2 tours a day in the summertime at 12, and my wife, she said, "Look, no more 12, do the 6 p.m." But before that, I would lose 12 pounds in 4 hours, you know?
Oh, I bet. Yeah.
4 hours. All right. 12 pounds. And of course, by the end of the day, I would drink enough water and most of it would come back. But I'm like, man, I lost 12 pounds in a day.
Oh, yeah. No, it's crazy what the humidity and heat will do. That's for sure.
Right. And you know what else I thought about? Another reason, you know, as far as with the kids, why I gained weight, me and my wife, we done been on 8 cruises. We've been married 10 years, been on 8 cruises.
Okay.
But the thing about that is that we would always kind of get in shape before a cruise. You know, we would get in shape. Like, oh, the cruise is coming up. Let's get in shape, you know, because we're on a boat. You know, she's in a bikini or whatever. I'm, you know, I got my shirt off all day. But this would happen. The Zika virus came.
Oh, right.
Zika epidemic. So my wife was pregnant. Well, she, you know, the first cruise we went on, she was pregnant. No big deal. But we couldn't go because she had because she was pregnant in the Zika virus. So we missed out on 2 years of cruising. So that was always that extra get me up. Cruise is coming up. Let's get in some shape. You know, let's work out real hard for this 2 months until the cruise. And we didn't do that for 2 years. So, you know, so all that plays a part, you know, into it. But I guess the main thing is, you know, I guess nipping it in the bud. Like at this point, you know, I'm nipping it in the bud because I kind of said to myself, which is crazy. I said, you know what? Maybe I should just try to get to 300 just to say I've been there, which is a stupid thing to say. But you got to understand, you know, I am a guy. I mean, some people the weight journey. Some people want to gain weight, which I don't, but I was just tripping for a second. I wouldn't actually do that. You know?
No, it's definitely, I love that you share your journey because it is challenging with kids and definitely no matter what, even for people who don't have kids, not being able to get enough sleep can really affect your fitness and your, you know, weight loss goals because you're going to start reaching for things that are, you know, not as good because when you're tired, that's just kind of what happens, right? When your body is just running on fumes. So it's good that you have a good plan to kind of to get back into it, and you've had the experience of seeing it work, so that always helps keep you motivated, right? You know the path ahead of you.
Yes, definitely. Yep.
Very cool. Well, I definitely would recommend anyone go check out the jogging tours. Do you have any favorite locations that are on the tour out in New Orleans that you do?
Oh, well, you know, we got the Mississippi River. I love running along the river. You know, I honestly wish that part of the tour was longer, but that's the most, I mean, it's real early in the morning when the sunrise, if you get by the river, is real nice.
Sure.
Even though we run past it, some people just like to hang out there. But other than that, the streetcar line, the number one running spot in New Orleans, that's where all the locals run. And just when you're in a French Quarter, you're running through 300 years of history. So, I mean, that's real cool to get to be able to do that.
Yeah.
And for anybody thinking about the running tour, most people do it because they know they're going to eat a lot. So they just want to keep a balance, They feel better after they eat all the beignets and the po' boys and the crawfish pie and the filet gumbo. They feel better. They say, well, at least I did 6 miles this morning. I feel good about eating all this stuff,
Yep.
Because the last thing you want to do is come to New Orleans and feel guilty about what you eat.
Right. Well, I would tell people too, it sounds like a lot to go for a 6 mile run, especially for some people that maybe are just, aren't in super good shape, but the time, as long as they're not going to be like that one guy that asked you to run the whole time, but the time would fly by because, you have all these great sights to see. And so you're not having to run the full time nonstop.
Yeah, we stop like every half mile. Every half mile we stop and, it's not a military camp, not at all. I mean, you're learning and you're covering 6 miles while learning. That's all it is.
And you're definitely such a good resource for the history, but also just the great places to go check out afterwards, after the run is over, where they can get to go and have a good bite to eat or just things to see. So that was really fun to be able to take advantage of too.
You gotta know all that, so I could recommend you. I don't know if you were able to do Frenchman Street,
I did a little bit. Yep. I need to get back there with my husband and take him to enjoy more of the music with me. So.
Right. All of the music. I mean, that's all a part of the fun. It's all part of the culture.
Yeah.
Most people don't see New Orleans. They don't think anything fitness related with New Orleans.
Right. Exactly. Yeah.
They eat, drink, listen to music. Yeah, you may learn something, but it's more than just a party city. We got other stuff to offer, get your endorphins moving,
Yeah, for sure. Well, no, it definitely gave me a better appreciation for the city because I'd only been there one other time on like New Year's. So it was definitely a different different feel.
Definitely. Yep.
Awesome, Marcus. Well, what's the best way for people to get in touch with you if they're in New Orleans and they want to set up their jogging tour with you?
All right. If you're looking for me, all you do is go to joggingtours.com.
Mm-hmm.
joggingtours.com or Instagram. My Instagram is jogging tours. That's it.
Very good.
That's how you find me. And like I said, we do more than just individuals. Lately, we've been doing a lot of conferences. We've done bachelor parties and bachelorette parties before as well.
Okay.
Private groups. So we can make anything happen.
Very cool. Well, awesome. Well, thanks for taking the time to share more about your journey in general, your fitness journey, and also just to making the running tours happen in New Orleans. Really, definitely a cool experience, and recommend people go and check it out.
Yes. I appreciate you contacting me, putting me on your podcast.
Thanks for listening to the Fit 15. For show notes and more, visit fitarmadillo.com/podcast. See you next time.
Hi, friends. I hope you enjoyed today's episode of the Fit 15 as much as I did recording it with Marcus. If you are going to be in New Orleans at the end of this month or could get there, shoot me an email, podcast@fitarmadillo.com. I would love to organize a meetup, preferably a run, but I'm open to your suggestions for something we could do for the fans of the podcast in New Orleans. I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day. If you are listening the day this podcast episode is scheduled to go live, it is Friday, February 8th. So we're heading into the weekend. I won't release an episode the next 2 days, but I will release a new one on Monday of next week. So be sure to subscribe so that you don't miss that notification, and leave us a rating and review while you're at it. It will help other people find the show, and it will really make my day. Thanks so much for being a listener. I look forward to chatting with you again in another episode. Bye.